What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I'm going to showcase a Medicham team in the Go Battle League. Medicham is one of my favorite Pokemon from seasons past, but this Pokemon, ever since the counter nerf, has kind of struggled to find its identity in GBL. But recently, with Psycho Cut, Ice Punch, and Dynamic Punch all receiving buffs, as well as here in the Retro Cup having Fairy types banned, I think Medicham is looking just about as good as it possibly can right now, and I'm excited to see it in action. But real quick, before we get into the battles, I want to ask if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Helps out quite a bit, and I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, let's get into the battles and see what Medicham can do. Oh, wow, a Furret lead. Okay. I don't have a great answer to Grumpig safe swap, actually. I'm gonna go for the Ice Punch, because I do kind of need this Pokemon chip down. Furret is a really good Pokemon for me to see on my Medicham, but it's just like, I don't know how we guarantee switch here. I think that we can have a pretty good chance of just going straight Air Cutter now. So we'll see. I'm gonna shield the first move up. Pidgeot should be able to get his shield back from the Furret. All right, Air Cutter. If we get his shield here, then I'm going to try to shield a second time and go for a farm down. Because if shields are down, it's also not like Furret's the worst matchup necessarily for Licky to see. Oh, we got a boost? That's awesome. If one more Gust knocks him out now, that's really good. If it doesn't, then that's less good. Dynamic Punch hurts, so that's why we shield. Nice. Okay, that's a huge knockout, actually. Furret probably does not want to come back in here, but it's going to have to. All right, well, we'll just go for the guaranteed shield or knockout. Medicham should be able to go just straight up for a Dynamic Punch here. They let that go? No shot. Okay. Cresselia in the backline, also no shot. Why do they have this? With that said, I think Licky is so much better into Cresselia than Licky is into Grumpig. So we can just go for the Air Cutter here, come in Licky, and then start winning. Oh, they actually shielded up the Air Cutter there too. Yeah, we should be good. Even if they're on Future Sight, I don't believe they can two-shot us. So they need 3 attacks against us here. We're almost at the back-to-back Shadow Ball, so we should be fine. Moonblast comes through. No debuff, please. Thank you. And even if Licky does go down, we should be able to go for even like an Ice Punch or another Air Cutter maybe with our Pidgeot. Shadow Ball gets... Oh, wow, that's that's way more damage than I thought it would be, actually. Nice. GG's. All right, we got our next opponent here. We're going to see Medicham into Corsola. Okay, well, that right there is a less ideal lead, but I think that we have 2 things in the backline that are at least fine into it, right? Okay, you know, at least a Medicham's guaranteed to win this game, right? Like, that's good news. 8. I'm going to go Shadow Ball. Why not? I want to try my best here to get shields down, or like if I can flip switch, that would be pretty good, but I'd be surprised if I could. I know I survived 1 Dynamic Punch, so I will let this go. 10. And they do get to their move first, which is a little bit annoying. But, I mean, this is still fine, I think, because Pidgeot should be pretty good into Corsola. I would take a super effective attack from Power Gem. That was actually a really heads-up play by them going for an Ice Punch there. But this is still a good spot to be in. I'm going to Shadow Ball to guarantee a knockout. I think a Body Slam might just barely miss the KO here. But they do shield up anyway. And this is going to set up a bit of a Psycho Cut down for my Medicham. Sure, it's going to likely have energy that's going to go into Galarian Corsola, but if I have a lot of energy, I might be able to dance around a little bit more. Ice Punch does knock us out. I guess I should have shielded the first Dynamic Punch there. It would have been the best play, but it's still fine. Medi is going to be able to win us this game. I still have faith. I wonder if they double Dynamic us. Dynamic Punch does do more raw damage despite the resistance. They go for Ice Punch anyway. All right. If they ever, you know, get a little antsy here and they want to switch out, that would be very fine. This right here is why I want Medicham to get Shadow Ball, so I could Shadow Ball Galarian Corsolas. Although I guess then I'd have to be worried about Shadow Ball here, so maybe we shouldn't be speaking too soon. All right. We get a Gust Energy lead here. Blastoise in the backline. Not the Pokemon that I wanted to see, not gonna lie. 6. All right. We'll see what happens here. Maybe we get a shield right now and a boost. We do get the shield, but I need a boost. We get a boost, but honestly, I don't think that's going to be enough still. The problem is the switch clock's not back up. If it was, and I could switch out, even then, it probably wouldn't be enough. Yeah, we have the Air Cutter, but they can just CMP us on the Hydro Cannon. An unfortunately pretty RPS game into us. I think we almost had some play here, but we just weren't able to leverage enough of an advantage from our Licky Licky into Medicham. If I could have got a shield advantage there, maybe I could have won this one, but they were quick enough on that counter swap that I didn't get enough of an energy lead. Now Corsola just destroys us. All right, that's a pretty RPS game. I'm not upset losing that one. Not much I could have done. Shadow Kingdra lead. Interesting. I don't hate this necessarily, but saying I only have charge attack pressure here, it is going to be a little bit awkward to see if I can land damage. What the heck? They CMP that? I should have gone for a sneak, but it's still fine either way. Getting some shields down should be pretty good. But I wish I got a sneak there, because then I could guarantee to outpace 2 dynamic punches before a Swift plus a Surf. Do they shield? I would love a no-shield. Oh, they actually do no-shield. Okay. That's not bad at all for us. Try to catch here if we can. And we do catch a Swift. That's huge. So now we have a lot of energy on Medicham that we saved. Swift is not going to do too much damage to us here. And we also know that they're in farm down range, so Kingdra can only really be used as a catch later on. Whoa. What the heck? They bring in a Furo into my Licky Licky. That is not generally an answer. I wonder if that means there's a second flyer in the backline, though, which could be a little bit scary for Medi. But with that said, I do survive a Drill Peck here. So I think the play is going to be to let this go for another rollout into a Body Slam, either get a shield or a knockout, and then we'll play it by ear from there. If they shield it up, I'll just bring in my Pidgeot to go for a full Gust down. And if they no shield, then, I probably still swap out. Let's see what happens. They do let that go? Alright, well, what's in the backline, then? My guess is another flyer, honestly, so I guess we'll see. But if it's not, we still have Medicham around. Oh, it's Crustle. Well, I think this is pretty good for us, right? We just have a lot of fast food pressure here. And they have to Rock Wrecker us to knock us out. Which they're probably not ever going to throw a Rock Wrecker here. They're probably just going to double bait. But I feel like it's not even that risky to just shield even with the baits. Air Cutter immediately. Oh, I guess they've top lefted. Yeah, I don't think they were winning that game, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't play it out. Medicham into Mantine. Ooh, okay. That is a bit of an awkward lead matchup here. They have a lot of ways of just, like, kind of walling off what I want to do. What the heck? Okay. I guess today's just a Medicham day. I didn't realize everyone was on the Medicham bandwagon. I'm going to shield the first move. I think we learned that wasn't, like, a terrible idea the first time. Big Dynamic Punch. Because, like, Shadow Ball here, if I can land it, it does put him down pretty low. They might shield now that I've used a shield myself. But that's fine. Yeah, they do shield. I'll always at least land one Shadow Ball against them. Because I still survive this attack, right? I'll let this go. Pidgeot could still be good in the backline, but I don't know if it's necessarily going to love fighting against a Mantine. So we'll see. And they do have to throw all of their energy here to knock us out, because if they don't Ice Punch us right now, I do have a Body Slam ready to go. So we'll see what they want to do. Yeah, big Shadow Ball. Good counting. They know I'm at the Body Slam, so I do just kind of have to let this go. Ice Punch will knock us out if they want to throw that. And now my Medicham is going to try to get a farm down. I wish that the flyer that we saw in the lead was like a normal flyer or something, because normal flyers would actually be a little bit more playable for Medicham than water flyers that just completely wall all of my energy. So I guess we'll see, won't we? We'll go for the no shield here. I know it's only an Ice Punch, and I'm going to try to swap out and like snipe him down if I can. Yeah, not exactly the best Pokemon I could see here in the back line. Dang it, man. That's as RPS as it gets. No! I kind of figured it'd be something like this, though. I don't know what I really could have won against in the backline here. Yeah, it's like the pacing is so awkward for Pidgeot in this matchup, too. Like, the 4-turn into 3-turn. It's bad enough that, like, this is such a bad Pokemon to see. And you have to add on top of that the fact that it's also able to just put us into an awkward timing spot. We'll go for the Brave Bird to get a knockout. They likely always no-shield the move. And, I don't know, maybe Medicham can somehow do more work here than I'm expecting it to. I'm going to spam out Ice Punches. I have an Air Cutter loaded in the backline. And maybe if somehow I survive long enough to get to 4 Ice Punches, I could win this game. It's nothing. My goodness. Yeah, I'm not getting to 4. I'll just get out of here. There's no reason to waste our time. Next opponent. We'll see Medicham into Barbaracle. What? I mean, I probably wall the energy there pretty hard, right? Okay, maybe I should have, like, Ice Punch chipped and dipped, though. But I think this is still pretty good for us. 9. They could bait us here with an Energy Ball, but I think Acrobatics is almost certainly the play they go for. No, they do Energy Ball. Okay, so they're at 4, 5, 6, 7. I honestly have no idea if I knock him out here with an Air Cutter, so I will just go for the Brave Bird to guarantee it. And yeah, we get a no shield. I don't think I've played this game as well as I'd like to. With that said... Oh, Grumpig in the back? What the heck, dude? What is this team? This is actually really awkward, though, not gonna lie. I was not expecting Grumpig to come in. But I think because I get to 2 attacks here with Pidgeot, I should get to a second Air Cutter at the very least. I'm not going to be in an unplayable spot. Medicham's going to have to do a lot of work. Yeah, we do just barely reach that move. If we didn't, this game would have been a lot harder to win. But now either we get a shield here or a knockout. And I think we just kind of use Licky Licky as a damage sponge, right? It's a Pokemon here that's not going to be able to do too much to Grumpig, but I at least survive 1 charge attack. And this Grumpig is in Ice Punch range. So I think we're in a pretty good spot. Dynamic, yeah, makes sense. And also, like, do I ever just shield a Dynamic Punch? I could. No, I'm not going to. But, like, the reason I'm thinking it might not be a terrible play to shield Dynamic Punch is Medicham walls the energy from Barbaracle so incredibly hard, it's not even funny. But I'd probably just go for, like, a full farm down here anyway. Alright, Ice Punch. Get the final shield here. And if they want a no-shield, Medicham should just easily win. If they no-shield, that's also fine. Yeah, I mean, we just Psycho Cut this down before they get to 2 Shadow Balls. At least I hope we do. If we don't, and they, like, Dynamic Punch bait us, and then reach a Shadow Ball, I am devastated. They could try to catch right now, so I don't want to throw energy. Nice. Yeah, Medicham is broken. They don't even let me beat the Barbaracle, though. They top left. That is devastating. Softoph. Uh-oh. We're fighting a friend. Medicham into Lunatone. Okay. You know, this is probably a really neutral matchup, actually, because I have Dynamic Punch, and they have Weather Ball Ice as their main offensive source of damage here. So we'll see if they try to go for a catch, or if they try to, like, shield and play this out in longer shielding scenarios. Oh, that is a lot of damage. Okay. That's an easy 2-shot. The Psychic typing obviously does make it so I don't necessarily get the super effective damage here, but it's still fine. We should survive a Weather Ball pretty easily. Please no Moonblast. Thank you. I know Lunatone technically does have, like, Moonblast on its moveset, but I don't expect that to be super common. I'm going to Ice Punch this time because I'm crazy and I want to bait. We got the bait through. Nice. Now we should be able to get to an Ice Punch here a little bit sooner than they'd probably want us to. They have to go double Weather Ball if they want to be able to knock us out before I get my next move here. I wouldn't be surprised if the backline... Oh, we get an instant throw. I have seen a team recently with, what's it called? Licky Licky and Jumpluff in the back. That could be the case, or it could be the team that I was running the other day with Jumpluff and Kingdra. Either way, I guess we'll find out. Oh, what if it's, like, a completely random, like, other team, though? It could just be a third team that I was not expecting it to be. I'll go for the Body Slam spam. I could switch out here if I really wanted to, but I feel like this is something that's, like, they're trying to bait out my backline Pokemon. I'd rather just stay in here, spam out Body Slams, and see what they want to do. Because that Lunatone at this point is not that big of a threat for my Pidgeot. It's low on HP. They are on Brick Break. This is interesting. I'm going to let this go. I probably get knocked out by a Brick Break here. Swift is not quite enough, though. I'll go for the Body Slam, try to put them into Gust down range, and then just invest everything in Pidgeot. Body Slam's not going to quite knock him out. Do I survive this? I don't. So they do end up farming us down here. They might barely be able to get to a Brick Break against us. Yeah, they get a move off. I don't know if this is enough energy for a Brick Break or not. I hope it's not. I hope this is just as Swift. It is a Brick Break. Oof. Okay, so now I'm permanently debuffed for the rest of this game, but if the final Pokemon is not unplayable for us, we're still in a good spot. Unfortunately, the final Pokemon is not the best Pokemon for us to see. Licky Licky. I'm gonna go for a bait. So we'll see what they want to do. We land the move. Okay, it doesn't matter. But, like, at least we we land the move. It's a Lunatone still in the back, right? So there's not a lot Pidgeot can do here. They dropped the Jumpluff. The Jumpluff was my best matchup in the backline. They just had the Licky Licky still, though. That's unfortunate. Medicham into Regirock. Oh my goodness. I kind of need to see this here, don't I? Why are they staying in? This is kind of freaking me out. I'm going to go for an instant Dynamic Punch, hoping for no catch, and luckily they don't switch out. Let's see, this gets like Zap Cannon, right? Earthquake, Zap Cannon, Stone Edge, and they could always Hyper Beam, I guess, too. Okay, we land that move, that's big. Is it like... I wish I could even try to guess what this team's going to be. Girafarig comes in. All right. I wonder if they're on Focus Blast or something. They shield that. That's not bad. I'll bring in my Licky Licky here, because Licky Licky does a pretty good job at just absorbing damage. And I can make it really awkward for them to time their charge attacks here. They have to throw an alignment twice if they want to get their move off before I get to my next Body Slam. I guess I could go for a Confusion first, actually. Because if they do one more Confusion, then they can throw an alignment on the second one. But either way, we do see an alignment throw on this attack, which isn't bad. Oh, they Trailblaze. That does ramp up their damage, but do they get to another move now? No, they don't. So if they don't shield this up, I don't even take that Confusion damage. And if they do shield this up, that's also pretty fine by me. Because then Pidgeot's not that scared of the Regirock. Okay, it is, but, like, it's not as scared as it could be. What do we actually want to do here, though? I'll bring in Pidgeot, and I think I'm going to let this move through. Because that Regirock does have 100 energy on it. They could go for Stone Edges to one-shot us. So I'd rather not deal with that. Yeah, Regirock comes in, and they should be at 9 right now after this Stone Edge. So 2 away from the next move. Yeah, we do shield properly. Alright, so they're at 1, which means they're 10 away from the next. I can do 2 more Gusts and then throw my move. And then we'll see what's in the back line. Does this knock out, actually? Oh my goodness! I wasn't expecting that, I'm gonna be honest. That is crazy. Thank you, Pidgeot, for just being the most broken Pokemon in the game. My defense is dropped here by that Psychic Fang still, but I should be able to reach a Brave Bird after this Air Cutter. And Medicham's not going to get one-shot by a Sludge Wave, so no matter what, we should get to another move. Yeah, this is looking really good for us now. I wasn't expecting the full Gust down, if I'm being honest. I thought that was going to be like... I'd have to throw an Air Cutter or something into them, but no, not quite. We get the Dynamic Punch off. Toxapex is going to go down. Really cool team. But I guess I'm glad we saw the Regirock where we did. Our backline would have been kind of scared to see that thing, not going to lie. Medicham into Corsola. Okay, well, we did see a really good lead a second ago, so it's only fair that we see this now. I'm going to bring in my Pidgeot this time, just because I feel like they're more likely to have a Pidgeot answer than they are, or a Licky Licky answer than they are to have a Pidgeot answer. And saying they're still staying in and throwing what is almost certainly a Power Gem into us, that would seem to check out. Yeah, they do Power Gem. They're still staying in? Alright. Well, I'm going to just go straight Air Cutter here, I think. Because I don't want to debuff myself, and I want to give myself as many opportunities to boost my attack as possible. Yeah, they do let that go. Okay, but we see the Kingdra come in. I have back-to-back Air Cutters. So if they don't immediately Swift, I just get 2 attacks off into them. And if they try to go for a crazy play here, where they throw an alignment, I could get a full Gust sneak through, so they kind of have to just keep farming. So they're at 9, right? Or 10 right now. I can do 2 more Gusts, and if that farms them down, which after that boost it will, then I'm just going to stay in here. Because now I can fully farm this down. I can get my Licky Licky against the Corsola, and we should be in a really good spot. Dude, Pidgeot is kind of popping off right now. If I do see Corsola come in, I'm just going to go instantly for the Air Cutter. I don't want them to snipe us down with the charge attack here, and I want to force them to shield. Who even needs Brave Bird? Oh my goodness. Well, this game's over, right? I mean, I get 2 Gusts at minimum into this Pokemon, which is going to make it so I win the mirror match. And they have to throw energy still to knock us out. Or a Medicham. They're at 5, so they're dry now. Yeah, unfortunately that Gust won't register, but they were triple weak to Pidgeot. I cannot believe it. Ice Punch knocks us out, but now we just bring in Medicham into Medicham and Licky Licky into Corsola, and this game's over. Might try to catch a move at some point if they're feeling frisky. Yeah, but it's over. It is so over. They're playing it out? You gotta be joking me. What could they possibly think their win con is at this point? They didn't get the catch through. And, like, if I get a Shadow Ball into the Medicham with my Licky Licky, that's, like, even more over for them. Guess they want to play it out. That's unfortunate. I guess we have to play this the long way. Shadow Ball into the Corsola, Shadow Ball into the Medicham. I think they have enough energy they can just Dynamic Punch us technically and snipe us down so I don't get the Shadow Ball off. But that's fine. That's going to force all of their energy out of them, and then we just spam out Ice Punches with our own Medicham. That's it, dude. I am done with this trainer. Nothing but Ice Punch undercharges for them this whole game. If they're playing this out, that's what they're getting. Like, dude, why are you wasting my time? I'm wasting your time. You gotta know when to quit, trainers. You gotta know when to quit. We'll tap a few bubbles. I want to guarantee the win still. I don't want to give them that much hope. I don't know what they're doing, man. The Medi Slayer comes out on top once again. We'll see Medicham into Satu Titan. Okay. Pretty good lead matchup here. I want my Pidgeot away from this. And we do take a lot of neutral damage from them, but Dynamic Punch basically one-shots if they let us land it. They might try to go for a catch at some point, though. Alright, they're at 5, so big Icicle Spear coming through. Let's see. 1. I'm going to go for the Dynamic Punch immediately after, because I know they're not going to switch just yet. We waited to also guarantee that was the case. Looks like they can play out the 2-shield matchup here and at least chip me down quite a bit. Interesting. I'm guessing I'm going to bring in my one Pokemon here that doesn't necessarily want to see Satu Titan, right? 5. Okay, so they have the attack ready to go here. The back-to-back Brutal Swing, that is. Oh! That's unfortunate. Wow. I was not expecting the Future Sight. That is a lot of energy down the drain. That is painful. I don't think this is another Future Sight, though. I think that's not enough energy for it. But that is, like, that is well played. Well done. I appreciate that. Sometimes you gotta spice it up a little bit. I do have a lot of energy left over on Medicham, and the way they played out that lead matchup, I still wouldn't be surprised if we have play with Medicham in the backline. So I guess we'll see what happens here. Big Body Slam, this should knock him out. Likely we see Satu Titan come in, because it's not like Licky Licky has a lot of immediate damage against them. But we'll see what happens here. Are you joking me? Why did you do that, Licky Licky? I was tapping Medicham to switch, but I guess Licky Licky decided that doing a fast move would be more fun. Dude! Like, what's happening with my charge attacks? I mean, I'm gonna lose this with Mantine in the backline anyway, I guess. Okay, so they won this game thanks to freaking Future Sight or Rangaroom. That's honestly so base. I'm so glad that's what I lose to. If I'm gonna lose to something, Future Sight or Rangaroom is one of them. Alright, Medicham into what? We're gonna see Satu Titan on the lead. Okay. Well, we'll see what they want to do here. I know Satu Titan is a very neutral Pokemon into a lot of things in the meta, but I also know that Dynamic Punch one-shots him. Interesting catch. They bring in Kingdra, which I guess that's kind of a good play, but Kingdra doesn't really want to take a Dynamic Punch either, so I'm not sure about that. I wouldn't be surprised if the final Pokemon in this game was a Jumpluff, because I ran that team the other day with some pretty good success. We'll see, though, if they're a copycat or if they're just running a similar idea. We're at 11 right now. They do shield that. I'll bring in my Licky Licky now. This should be Rage for Body Slam, just knocks out. Oh, what was that timing? Okay. I get a full sneak on a rollout there. That's big. That's a lot of free energy. Now, Satu Titan does have a full superpower loaded on it, which is a little bit awkward. I guess I should have expected the second alignment throw by them, but it's still fine. We'll see what they want to do. If it is a Jumpluff, then Medicham's still actually pretty fine into that matchup, because we have access to Ice Punch. Body Slam should just get a knockout here, though. They do let it go, and we'll see probably Satu Titan come back in. I should get to a Shadow Ball against them, at the very least. Oh, do I? I don't. I get a Body Slam. Okay, that does make things a little bit scary. I should have gone for a rollout sneak against that Kingdra. If I did, I could have got a Shadow Ball right now. So now I get a little bit less chip damage than I'd like. 5. Oh, they're back-to-back Icicle Spear right now. Okay, this game's actually going to be way more dicey than I'd like it to be. That was a really nice catch by them. Well, honestly, the catch wasn't really what is making this game so annoying, as much as the fact that they CMP'd twice against Licky Licky, or like they got that CMP against Licky Licky, rather. Which is not super ideal. But I think there's still a good chance for us this game. Kind of. We do get farmed down here, so I have to swap out. And we have to hope that Pidgeot in the backline is just the best. But I think they do get to another attack here against us, so I do have to throw energy as well. Even if it is Jumpluff in the backline, I don't know if I have what it takes. It's Mantine. Okay. If I can one-shot this with a Brave Bird, then this is still playable. Man, dude! Why? No! If I got the one-shot there, we get one more Gust into the Satu Titan, and that puts him to Psycho Cut down range. The 1 HP live? I'm down bad. Lunatone lead. Okay, Medicham's at least pretty neutral here. My backline, especially my Pidgeot, doesn't want to see this Pokemon, so we'll see what we can do. Big Dynamic Punch. I'd love to see this land, but even if they shield it up, it's not the end of the world. I always guarantee at least one of these to land against them. They should be at 11 right now, so they have access to a Weather Ball, and they throw after 12, so at least they don't bait a potential Moonblast. So they're at 3 after this Weather Ball. Doesn't quite two-shot us here. It's not the best move in the game. But we'll see how they want to play this out. Okay, interesting. Maybe I should have come in like Licky Licky here, but I know they have Dynamic Punch. And so I'm going to bring in my Pidgeot instead, which, while also Dynamic Punch would hurt, and they have Acrobatics as well, we just have way more consistent ways of knocking them out. They do Dynamic Punches here. Oh, and interesting, they don't go for a Dynamic Punch when they could have. At least I think they could have then. Maybe they're like one rollout short. Either way, we're at back-to-back attacks now, which does make this really good for us. I can throw a move into that Lunatone if we want to here. Which, honestly, I'm fine going for almost a full Gust Sneak instead. And building up more energy. They do Rock Slide. So that's... Wait, they actually Rock Slide us? That's crazy. I'm kind of surprised they'd go for that instead of going for the more... Like, I guess it's not risky to go for Rock Slide, but like the more consistent Weather Ball Ice, which is still super effective into us. Oh no, they caught my move. That would have been really bad if I didn't go for an Ice Punch. Interesting team. Double flying backline. Oh, they do shield. I guess they realized that I probably would just Ice Punch there anyway. But I have so much energy. And I still have my Pidgeot and a Licky Licky in the backline. We should just be really fine here. They double shield. Do they know where my energy is at, though? They don't. Okay. Getting this Ice Punch off is huge. It's going to do like half their HP, maybe? Maybe not quite. Actually, I don't know. It's a Medicham. Ice Punch isn't the best move in the game. Oh, that's actually a very good amount of damage. All right. And they have to Energy Ball us here, and then they have to go for an Acrobatics to knock out my Pidgeot. So the play, in my opinion, is always just come in with my Pidgeot, force them to go for an Acrobatics, dump all their energy into us, and then I should be able to just go for a Licky Licky sweep in the endgame. Yeah, they go for the acrobatics. Makes sense. But Lunatone's really low on HP, so is this Jumpluff. They have a lot of work to do with 2 really low HP Pokemon. And we'll see what they want to throw. They probably go for an Energy Ball here just to get anything off into us. And if they don't, I mean, I'm also fine just Shadow Balling, because this guarantees either Jumpluff goes down, or if they did go for a catch on Lunatone, it's not like Jumpluff could knock us out with 2 moves anyway. Down goes the Jumpluff. Lunatone here needs to somehow get to like 3 attacks. It's not going to be able to. Nice. GG's. Okay, Furret. Not a bad lead, but I do know that Furret does rely a lot on making catches and stuff, which I wouldn't be surprised to see them do. Yeah, there they go. They try to catch here on Grumpig. We don't have an instant response to this Pokemon, but we do have a Pidgeot here, which should be able to at least put in a lot of work with Gusts and Air Cutters in the 2-shield matchup. So that's what I'm going to try to play out. And we'll see how they want to play it out themselves. Big Dynamic Punch, we shield that up. We have an Air Cutter ready to go. They almost certainly always let this go, saying, I would never Brave Bird here. Yeah, makes sense. But I do want to Wind Switch if I can. And we're able to get the next move off before they can, which means at this point, if they don't shield this up, they don't get another move with Grumpig. And if they do shield it up, then honestly, I prefer that. I can now go for like a 2-shield farm down and go for a Brave Bird into Furret. And I got a boost there too, which is pretty cool. The boost means now, almost anything that comes in, like even something that resists Flying-type damage, is not going to want to take a Brave Bird. Double shield, we get that second Gust through him, which means now I'm only 2 Gusts away from a Brave Bird. So we should just be able to land it here, unless I guess, you know, they can throw energy. But if they throw energy, now they have no energy for my Medicham. But that is a smart play. Down goes Pidgeot. But Medi comes in. We're basically in range here where a Dynamic Punch knocks him out. And we see a Jumpluff come in. Okay. Not bad at all. I'm going to go for the Ice Punches here, I think, because Ice Punch does quite a bit more damage than anything that my Licky could throw. I might as well just put them into Shadow Ball range and make it so there's way too much work for that Furret to do. 4, 5... Oh. They're out of there. You know, I mean, that game was looking pretty bad for them, but I am surprised by the top left right there. Medicham did put in quite a bit of work in a lot of these matches, but the thing about it is it does lack consistency nowadays, right? Psycho Cut doesn't do any fast move pressure, and Dynamic Punch, if it gets caught or if your opponent dances around well enough, it can make Medicham struggle a little bit, but it is still a lot of fun to use, and it's one of the few fighting types that really can work in this meta. But yeah, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.